It's a wonderful privilege to reach you. I want to share briefly an inspiration this morning in our early morning nuggets of life, and I will tag it back to base. I got an inspiration from the scriptures on how Jesus calls men. From the book of Mark 1:16, Jesus passed by the Sea of Tiberias, and he saw two brothers that were fishing, Peter and his brother Andrew. And he said to them, "Follow me." And they followed him. He went on his journey, and he met a man called Matthew, also called Levi, in his tax collecting boat, and he told Matthew, "Follow me." It amazed me that Jesus did not go to synagogue to look for men. It's expected that men that will work with Jesus in the great assignments of the Great Commission, that Jesus will enter the synagogue, or what we call church building, to call men. He didn't go to synagogue. He didn't go to church building. He didn't come on midweek service to pick men. He didn't come on Sunday service. He went on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, when men were actively involved and engaged in their secular duties. He sought them out and he called them. What does it tell me? The eyes of the Lord runs to and fro in search of men who are faithful and diligent even in their secular assignments. An average Christian will tell you, "I am going to church, I'm going to work for God." The only thing a Christian calls working for God is what he does inside a church building. But God is interested about how you do your government work. He's interested about how you work for your boss. Why didn't he go to synagogue? There are other fishermen, but he chose Andrew and Peter, who were all actively engaged in their fishing business. There were other tax collectors. He called one that was collecting tax, faithfully collecting tax. The Bible said in Ecclesiastes 9:10, "Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your heart." There is no vision, there is no work, there is no assignment in the grave where we are all headed to. Jesus called men who were faithful in their secular endeavor. So this will correct the notion of people scrambling for position in church. It's my turn to sing. I'm the one that should solo. It's good to sing and solo, but do it to the Lord. It's not only what you do in church that is recognized. What you do on Monday in your business site, on Tuesday in that ministry of education, ministry of health, where you work, heaven takes cognizance of that. It calls faithful men in their assignments. Now, why did he call them? In Luke chapter 5, 27 to 29, after he called Matthew, he visited Matthew's house. Guess what happened? Matthew's house was filled, not filled by fishermen or filled by doctors. Matthew's house was filled by fellow tax collectors. He called a tax collecting man who was faithful. The man followed him and invited all his tax collecting friends. Or maybe his friends saw that something had changed in his life and they followed him to come and meet Jesus. When Jesus calls you from your teaching profession, he expects that the influence you have will draw teachers to him. He expects that the influence you have will draw students to him. When Jesus calls a medical doctor, like he called me, he expects that fellow colleagues, medical professionals, patients, and patient relatives will see Jesus in me and desire my Jesus. The Bible said in Psalm 60, verse 9, "Who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me to Edom?" So I'm going to wrap up what I'm saying today by encouraging you. That thing you do, your secular job, is not just a means of livelihood. God is watching how you are doing it. He called a faithful fisherman and he began to fish men. He called a faithful tax collector and he wrote the gospel. Maybe you are a bricklayer. God is watching you. Maybe you are a maid somewhere in somebody's house. God is watching you. Your boss is not your paymaster. God is watching you. He can call you out of what you are faithfully doing today and give you a bigger assignment to call men to the kingdom, and he will reward you very well. Don't look at your boss, look at God. Don't look at the government, look at God. When God calls, he equips, He empowers so that He can call those in your cycle of influence, and by so doing, will reach the world. Stay blessed. If you have not known the Lord, call Him, pray, and ask Jesus to come into your heart and save your soul. Jesus is the best experience you will ever have in your lifetime. Stay blessed.